department is fleet management. Good afternoon. I think we have your written testimony, whatever you'd like to put on the record.
All right. Good afternoon.
Oh, yes, right, please.
Good afternoon, Councilman Greenlee and members of City Council. I am Chris Cochi, Fleet Manager for the City of Philadelphia. Joining me today are Joseph Rosati, Deputy Fleet Manager for Operations, and Dr. Kay Wilson, Deputy Fleet Manager for Administration. Thank you for the opportunity to present testimony in support of the FY20 operating budget request for the Office of Fleet Management. The Office of Fleet Management has 366 dedicated team members who do their best to ensure the city's vehicles and equipment are safe, dependable, and available to the operating departments so they can do their jobs. You have my detailed written testimony, and I have a few of the key members of my staff here today. We'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you, sir. In your budget detail, you show an increase of $201,000 increase in parking expenses. What does that do? What is involved in that, please?
I'll let my Deputy Kay Wilson answer that question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Kay Wilson, Deputy Fleet Manager. Fleet Management administers the parking facility for all the city department. And this year, we have an increase in parking cost in Love Park. We have 258 members of parking in Love Park, and they increased the parking cost by $75 from $150 to $225. That increase is reflecting there.
So it's parking for the vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah, for your vehicles to...
All the city department vehicles.
All the city, okay, all right, okay. Okay, I just had one other thing. In your written testimony, sir, you say you highlight the re-entry automotive training program. Can you say how many returning citizens have participated in this program?
This hasn't started yet. This is scheduled.
I should say, do you anticipate? I'm sorry, I said
We
that wrong.
anticipate six participants.
6 participants? Okay.
Yeah, that's for this coming up fiscal year.
Okay. Okay. All right, let me go to Councilman Dom. I know you had some questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On that reentry program, is that something where you go to the prisons and teach them while they're there, or when they come out, they come to you?
No, they would be on release, and they would come to us. They would work at our shops, and it would somewhat mirror the high school intern program,
Right.
where they do a certain amount of time at the shops, and it would automatically qualify them for a civil service position.
So let me just give you an idea or thought that might be maybe more productive. Because when they come out, they're not going to have a job, and they need the money. So what I've been supporting are programs that are being taught in the prisons. So we're teaching now financial literacy in the prisons. I went to a graduation class in December. We're teaching coding now in the prisons. We're going to start teaching entrepreneurship and other courses in the prison. Maybe there's a way, if you're interested, in actually going to the prison and teaching them while they're there, so when they come out, they're more advanced and they can be more productive quicker.
We did have a shop in the prison right on the complex. That was closed in the late 90s. Well, it's a good idea. I don't know if we have the funding to do that. And we're not actually teachers per se. We would like to do the technical portion, the shop portion of it. So we were hoping that there'd be a way we could find training for the participants as they came over to us. And I want to add also that we're working with the Office of Workforce Development on this, and OHR and the prison system as well.
Okay.
So we haven't fully developed the program yet, but we're in the stages of putting together a program. We'd be happy to share it with you when it's complete.
Okay, thank you. In the 5-year plan, you make reference to the optimal vehicle replacement strategy. Can you give us a copy of this plan?
A written copy?
Yes.
Yes, we can do that.
And does the replacement strategy try to find solutions to operational problems by incorporating technology and research into new vehicle purchases? Is that the goal?
The optimal vehicle replacement strategy basically revolves around an optimal replacement cycle to replace the vehicle before it's obsolete. As far as technology integration, a lot of technology is integrated into the new vehicles today. We're also relying on GPS, global positioning sensors, to help us track vehicles and to record mileage and whatnot into our work order system.
And how many total vehicles right now are under your control?
6,100,
6,100?
yes.
And the actual overtime amounts have seemed to continue to outpace the proposed amounts over the past few years. Any reason why, and what can we do to keep overtime within the proposed limits?
At the current time, we're about 23 technicians short. The shortage of technicians has been a problem that we've had. It's ongoing. We've been working with OHR on securing technicians. That's one of the reasons why we have the intern program. But that's only one of the reasons why we have spent as much as we have in overtime. I think traditionally we spent around $2 million in overtime. One of the other reasons that we have, I don't want to say built-in overtime, but we have to provide coverage for the departments for 365 days a year, seven days a week, 24 hours a day. There are certain weekend shifts that we don't have covered at the moment. We've attempted to, new hires, put them in off shifts on the weekends, Tuesday to Saturday, Sunday to Thursday. We were also asked to do a study on how many technicians we would need, and personnel in general, we would need to do away with overtime. And we came up with a figure of 35 additional people, technical and support staff. But given the fact that we're having a hard time filling all of our allotted positions now, we figured that would be almost impossible to do. Yeah. We also don't think financially that would be the right thing to do.
So the 23 positions you haven't been able to fill, what does that save us in total dollars, including fringe benefits?
I'm not sure including fringe benefits, but
Well,
average salary is $50,000 per employee.
Average is 50, so the fringe benefits are about 88 to 89 cents of every dollar we pay. So if you're looking at that, you're probably looking at what, $90,000 to $95,000 all in, and you have 23 positions. It sounds like almost 2.1, 2.2 million. Does that sound about right? Okay, so that's a good savings. What's the average life? I have a few more questions. Of a trash compactor. How many do we have, and how many have we bought in the last 3 years?
Yeah. Today we have 309 compactors. The average life is about 10 years. 8 years frontline, 2 years as a reserve.
And how many have we bought in the last 3 years?
The last 3 years, I think we bought average of 30 to 35 a year. I think we bought over 100.
What do they typically cost each?
The current price for the average compactor is $188,000.
Okay, so they have a 10-year life typically?
Yeah, 10-year frontline, or I'm sorry, 8-year frontline, 2 years of reserve.
The increment run in your fiscal year 19 budget for fiscal year 18 estimated obligations for the was 362. But in this budget, it shows actual positions being 358. You were 4 short. Are you looking to fill those, or are you just cutting it down?
Could you repeat that question?
Sure. The increment run in fiscal year budget 19 for fiscal year 18 estimated obligations was 362. But in this fiscal year 20 budget, the detail shows actual positions for fiscal year 18 being 358.
This year.
So you showed 362, but it was actually 358. You can look it up. We don't have to get into that detail
Yeah,
now.
was that the 4 technicians?
Just get us an answer, it's fine.
Yeah, well, can we get back to you on that
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
sir?
get back to us on that. And looking over the budgets in general, this is not particularly a question for you. It's just a statement, so don't, you happen to be up here, I'm just going to make a quick statement. The budget for fleet management is what, 19 million roughly? For fleet management?
The entire budget?
Yeah.
60.
We have 67 in general fund.
How much is the budget?
67.
67 million.
Yeah, that's general fund. not water or aviation.
Right. And that covers the 6,000 plus vehicles, plus other stuff.
That covers the general fund vehicles. We also repair water and aviation fund vehicles. That's not included in the general fund testimony.
You know, it's interesting to me, it has nothing to do with you, but just sitting here and hearing all the different budgets and the departments, it's 67 million to manage our fleet, but we spend 14 million to manage $170 billion of real estate. Just interesting how the allocation is occurring. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not worth 67 million, but on the same token, we allocate 14 million for 170 billion of real estate. And for the treasurer who manages 5 billion in the general fund, we allocate 1.2 million. It's just fascinating to me of those numbers when you think about it and the importance of a $170 billion portfolio where we allocate 14 million. And here, not that it's a negative or a positive, I'm just making a statement that's 67 million to manage our fleet. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. Well, looks like there's no other questions. There are advantages to being later in the day. You see that, okay? But you folks are doing a good job. We hear good things about what Fleet is doing. So thank you for all you do. And that will conclude our hearing for today. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This committee will stand in recess until Wednesday, April 10th. That's tomorrow, 2019 at 10 a.m., where we'll reconvene right here in room 400. Thank you.